Alright, good evening and welcome to Slaggers, featuring Dennis O'Bell. Not really, that's a Beatles song. And a very strange Beatles song. So, I thought I'd do a little bit of a different video. I had a couple of recommendations, I guess, or suggestions from, I know one was Crown Tail Half Moon, that if I could show, I guess, the progress of crosses, what I used for the parents and what I got as results, and you can even take it another step further because I actually have fry from the results. So this is not the actual female, but the original female looks just like that. There was two of them, and it was a cross of my snow white albinos to the yellow deltas. Now this way was the female snow white albino to the male yellow deltas. These need some work, the yellow delta line, which is why I did the cross in the first place. The dorsal needs to be longer, and I need to correct, there's one little spot at the base of the caudal where the tail starts where there's like no color, or it's gray. I don't know which, but I think it's actually no color. So the caudal edge on these two is uneven because they got nicked a couple of times. But anyway, that's how this cross began, and I put her in her own little bowl because I'm pretty sure she's going to have some fry soon. And I'll throw some plants in there and something at the bottom to keep her from eating all the fry, because that seems to be what happens. But anyway, so I did the cross. It was very successful. The odd thing though, I'm pretty sure I've only gotten black-eyed fry even on the second to third generation, which shouldn't be happening unless the albino fry are getting eaten. So I've gotten two separate results. One of them, the water's a little funky because I put in a little too much live baby brine shrimp. So this was more or less what I was really looking for, except the male's tail's gotten a little chopped up on the edge. It's a very light, almost like a pastel white fish. Black eyes and very little color. There's a little splash of yellow at the base of the tail now, and the tail's uneven because he got bitten. But the dorsal is nice, really nice. It's the right color, it's the right length. The body color is nice, got a little bit of white overtaking it. And the tail's good, but I got to get all the yellow out. And the females are distinctively lighter colored. And you'll see what I mean when I show you the next group that I got out of the cross, going the other direction actually. So it's kind of cool that I have both, and I appreciate the ideas, because sometimes I'm completely out of ideas on what to do, and this would help. Now, I may have told this joke before, but what do you call an empty jar of Cheese Whiz? Cheese Whiz. Cheese Whiz. That might just be a Philly thing. I don't know if anybody in the world eats Cheese Whiz except people in Philadelphia, and not all of them, just some. But you never know. So anyway, so I've digressed again, and this is, I should probably show these next. These are fry from those fish I just showed you, and you can see they're all black-eyed, which shouldn't be. I should be getting some albinos according to the Punnett square thing, and I'm not. So these are all looking like they might be close to yellow deltas, because they all have yellow in the tail, and a little hard to see them. I think the yellow kind of interacts with the light. It's just like a reflection. But anyway, these fish are being raised in a small tank. I just moved them into a photo tank. They were born the beginning of April, and it was the second drop of fry from the other fish I just showed you. And I'll wrap up the video showing you the latest drops of fry, which are just tiny little nothings. that I got from the adults I showed about 20 seconds ago. So it's interesting. These are developing more like the yellow deltas do. You can see there's a spots of yellow at the top and bottom of the tail and nothing in the middle yet. And that's kind of the problem I've had with the yellow deltas as they go on. So we'll see what happens. But the point of showing everything is sometimes, actually all the time with crosses, you can get something different in the second or third generation than what you've been getting in the first one, which is really odd. And I've always found with the crosses I've been doing to never give up on them after the first generation, which could be junk, because the second generation, second drop of fry from the next, from the first ones, always ends up being way better looking than that first generation. I don't know if there's a mix of some leftover sperm inside the female from a prior male. It's possible. But anyhow, so that's what's going on with these. They'll be further developed probably about a month. And this is the other distinctive difference that I'm getting with the cross. So as you can see, with the exception of one female, which I'll try to figure out where she is, I'm getting like pretty much a half black yellow. More or less what we used to call German half black yellows, which they have like a bit of yellow coloration over the half black. Now these technically are not enough half black coloration to qualify as far as the IFGA goes with half black yellows, but I didn't really want half black yellows, and that's not what I was after. So this will just be something at some point that I'll sell. They'll just be probably called German half black yellows, but I would hope that I get some albino fry out of them, and then I have some ideas on what to do with that. So yeah, so we'll see what I end up getting. It's like I said, it's a work in progress, and I do have fry out of these as well. I'm trying to focus on one of the better looking males, and we'll see if we can actually do that. There we go. It's a little bit better. It's got a nice dorsal, nice tail, nice color, and these are only 4 months old right now. So getting a definite reflection. I'm trying to film the ones at the bottom. They are eating some live baby brine shrimp, and once I spot her, there's one female that's a little bit different, and I put her in just to make a point, which I'll probably forget. So what do you call a pig that does karate? Pork chop. Pork chop. That's terrible. Yeah, it's really terrible, actually. That stinks. Yeah, alright, so let me continue on with these. Really shaking the camera around, but I'm trying to do is get this thing to focus and lose the pretty strong reflection, because they're not that yellow as they're looking, so it kind of stinks. There's a female that looks a little bit different. Now that just kind of looks like a half black female, and now she's gone. See if I can get her on here. It's a little bit different than the rest. So since this is all just a work in progress, I left her in there. You can see there's a slight color, different coloration, as I'm trying to say, between her and the other females. If I can get one of them on here. Now that female definitely looks exactly like the male's body coloration, more or less. So the long-winded point I'm trying to get at is, if you use females that look a little bit different, you're going to get different results. And if you buy fish from somebody and they send you more than one female and they don't look alike, you're not getting the same fish out of each female. So my recommendation would be to pull the different looking female after you think she's been hit from the males in the tank, and let her drop fry somewhere else, because you're definitely not going to get all the same fish. So now all these males look the same, with the exception of different growth rates, and it's definitely cool. And I'm trying to get one without the reflection so you can get an accurate look at what they look like. That's not easy. This light's a pain in the neck. There you go. So anyway, that's what they look like. The dorsal will grow longer because these fish are, like I said, just 4 months old. I think I said that. And it's pretty good. And I'll wrap up the video with just another minute thrown on of the fry that I got out of these very jumpy fish, because I got quite a few fry out of them, right, all pretty much the same day. And but I'm really happy with these. I want to continue this and try to come up with basically a pastel male with black eyes that has white tail and dorsal and some white coloration on the body. So that's the plan on that. And then now I have a second plan with some kind of like a mild half black yellow, but there are far better representations of half black yellow fish, especially in the IFGA. I could also say, if you're looking for the best half black yellows you can buy, Gary and Tim Musso have the best I've really ever seen, and they sell their fish direct, so you can find them on Aquabid under Quality Guppies 101, or you can look up their email address through the IFGA and send them an email. So I'll wrap up the video with really just tiny fish, but we'll get to see together if they're light colored or if they have a little bit of a half black going on. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, I'll finish up the video. I actually put a piece of dirty glass on top of or underneath the light in the hopes I could get a little better look at these fish without the reflection, but it looks like it's not happening. It's not too bad. So you can get a better idea of what they look like. Pretty nice. It's always unusual to come up with something different when you do crosses, and it's even better when you get something nice. So it's something I'll continue. I don't have too many tanks to devote to them, so it's kind of a, it's going to be a longer work in progress. Because normally I would select a few breeders, the best looking ones, and just go with them from then on. But anyway, earlier I mentioned that I was going to show a pretty good sized batch of fry I got from the what looked to be white pastel or just pastel baby guppies. So this is them, or these are them. Trying to get this to really focus close up so we might be able to see if there are any albinos in there together. They're definitely tiny. And they're so tiny you can see the live baby brine shrimp moving around them. Alright, I'm not seeing any albinos, which is very odd. Really should have got a few by now, because I definitely started with one parent that was an albino, and this one might be, because yeah, that might be an albino. Trying to focus on the little guy. Well, that might be the first albino of the drop that I've gotten out of these fish. But I'm really having trouble getting it to focus on them. I'll keep trying. I'm not seeing a black eyeball. He almost looks like a devilfish. There's no eyeball. I apologize. The iPhone does have some limitations, but I do not see a black eye on that fish. Not that he was punched, but that does look like an albino. So that would be the first one. Very cool, and that's why they're in this tiny container. Yeah, it's definitely an albino, so that's cool. So if there's one, there might be more, and they're really so tiny they're hard to focus on. So that's black eye. Yeah, it looks like it's probably the only one. Definitely cool. Alright, I appreciate you watching. Let me know what you thought of the idea of the video. Even if you don't like the types of fish I used. Can always use some ideas for future videos. And what's the difference between swine flu and bird flu? One needs treatment and the other needs ointment. And I may have told that joke before, but it's so good I told it again. Treatment or ointment. It's very easy to remember. Alright, that's enough of the bad jokes, and there's the one fish I can actually get on the camera without a problem. Very nice looking female, and I'm hoping she has some fry within the next 2 days, 3 days. Very full. Just have to wait for the back part by the fins, the 3 fins there, to drop down a little bit, and then some fry should be popping out. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, just either leave them in the comments or send me an email. I do put the email in every item or every description of the videos, as well as the feeding program I use for the fish. And I will say that the live baby brine shrimp is one of the most important things for raising some high quality fish. If you want to raise the best fish you can, you definitely want a live small food in their regimen. If you're lucky enough to be able to raise Daphnia or microworms or water worms or any of the other worms, they're all great, high in protein. The movement attracts the babies, and feeding them live food improves their color as well. So anyway, appreciate you watching, and boy, that might be the best shot I've gotten of these guys. Look at that. Alright, the video's over and I finally got a good shot of them. Alright, that's how it goes.